On the remote windswept shoulders of Rapa Nui, Easter Island, nearly 1,000 colossal figures stand as both engineering marvels and mysterious reliquaries of a vanished way of life. This is the story of who carved them, how they moved, why they watched the sea, and what those giants tell us about resilience, power, and the choices that shape civilizations. In the middle of the Pacific, 3,700 kilometers from the nearest continent, a people carved their memory into stone. They called the island Rapa Nui. To the outside world, we call it Easter Island. Between roughly the 13th and 16th centuries, the Rapa Nuis sculpted nearly 1,000 monoliths, some as tall as 10 meters, some weighing dozens of tons, and lined them along the island's shores and plateaus. Each one began as a patient idea inside the volcanic heart of Rano Raraku. The tools that shaped these giants, called toki, were often made from a hard local rock, Hawaiite. There were specialized toki quarries on island. The best tools were prized and scarce, meaning carving was skilled, costly work. Carving was only the beginning. The true mystery begins with movement of the statues and of a people navigating scarcity, ritual, and power. For generations, the received image was simple. Great logs rolled these stone men across the island. The image fit a story of deforestation and collapse, but the stones themselves told a different tale. Researchers analyzing hundreds of statues and the roads that link them found consistent design cues. Moai were often carved with mass distribution and shapes consistent with controlled vertical transport. Through 3D modeling and experimental trials, teams showed the statues could be walked upright by teams using ropes to rock and pivot them forward, a choreography of balance, not brute force. Not everyone agrees. Some scholars still emphasize log-based transport and link it to forest clearing narratives. The debate matters. It changes how we see Rapa Nui's choices and capacities. Recent research has also used landscape studies to show that many moai are aligned with roads, quarries, and communal platforms in ways that favor the walking hypothesis. Many moai were not left as isolated heads. They wore carved bodies that were later buried by soil and sediment. Dozens of statues have full torsos underground. And some were given striking red pukau top knots, carved from the island's red scoria. The pukau likely carried social meaning, status, lineage, or ritual distinction. The moai were not neutral monuments. Their stance, their gaze, their placement were social and spiritual architecture. Newer landscape-scale studies suggest moai placement was not random. Many monuments cluster near freshwater sources and community living areas. That pattern hints that statues might have marked access to life-sustaining resources, a territorial or commemorative map carved in stone. In other words, the statues may have been both ancestral watchmen and practical signposts in a harsh environment. By the 15th century, social change swept the island. Debates continue about the collapse narrative, whether overexploitation, introduced rats, disease, or changing social structures played the leading role. What is clearer is that the cult of the moai waned and the birdman, Tangata Manu ritual. A fierce annual competition tied to Make-Make, the creator deity took prominence on the island's cliffs. Many moai were later recarved or decorated with petroglyphs. Several unfinished statues at Rano Raraku bear intricate incised motifs on their backsides, indicating that statue production, modification, and reuse were complex, evolving practices, not a single burst of monumental hubris. Monuments conceal stories of social ordering. Who ordered a moai to be carved? Which family or clan paid for its transport? These were visible claims to authority. The stones were trophies, kin markers, and political statements. When conflict or collapse came, the moai themselves sometimes bore the scars, toppled, transported, re-erected, or abandoned. Today, the moai face new threats. Climate change and rising seas endanger coastal ahu sites. Wildfires and human impacts have damaged statues in recent years. And debates over how to balance tourism, conservation, and indigenous rights continue. Recent studies project that some key sites like Ahu Tongariki face inundation risks by the late 21st century, unless mitigation occurs. A stark reminder that ancient monuments are vulnerable to modern forces. As new tools arrive, LiDAR mapping, 3D scanning, ecological modeling, our picture of Rapa Nui is changing. The stark ecocide narrative that pictured an island wiped clean by statue-driven deforestation is under revision. Recent research proposes a more nuanced story. Human agency, introduced species, global contact, and resilience all played roles. The Rapa Nui people managed a complicated island world. Their giants are a testament not only to loss but tenacity. Archaeologists still find new moai. In recent decades, small statues and partial figures have been discovered within Rano Raraku's dry lakebed, and other contexts remind us that even well-studied sites can yield surprises and that our understanding is incomplete. The moai are not inert monuments to a dead past. They are unfinished sentences, asking us to listen, to reconsider simple stories, and to see how communities survive under enormous pressures. They remind us that human creativity can lift monoliths, and also that humility must guide how we care for the monuments we inherit. To learn more, visit the Rapa Nui National Park, support Ma'uhenua's stewardship programs, and approach stories of the past with curiosity and respect.